It's America Day. Actually, it's a few days after now, but it's America Day. A day to celebrate the horrid obesity crisis, horrible cancer-causing foods that are banned in the rest of the world, a crippling healthcare system, a disastrous prison industrial complex, non-existent social services, a huge homeless population, and of course, Phantom Forces updates. Because yes, Stylus has once again blessed us with a nice big ol' update for the 4th of July, as they do every year. But with those changes, we get loads of rebalances, new weapon models, and even some missing content that we may not see for quite some time. However, I think that this update is actually quite good and with some really good changes, just with a couple of nerfs that I think make me and other people a little bit sad. So join me in today's video where we're going to ignore the societal issues that we face in the #1 freest country blessed by Jesus himself. And we're going to check out this huge update in our silly Roblox FPS game, Phantom Forces. If you end up enjoying the video, of course, consider subscribing so you don't miss a single upload. Also, currently we're sitting at about 65% of you guys not being subscribed, and I'd love to get that number up. So let's get into today's video. So first, we've got some maps. We've got farmlands. We've also got plaza, facility, favela, embassy, and my personal favorite, Desert Storm Classic, bringing us to 3 different versions of Desert Storm. Amazing. The AUG weapons got a nice little change to how the Swarovski scope mounts onto them, making it actually flush with the weapon rather than just being a rail with an AUG scope on it, and it makes it look a little bit more polished. The M16A4 actually got a pretty decent muzzle velocity increase, making it better than it already was. I'm a big fan of this little change. The M16A3 also got the same muzzle velocity increase, along with getting the new layered recoil system and overall increase to accuracy. And finally, it's usable again after being actually unusable for months. The K2 got loads of changes to it, the most notable being an increase in fire rate and damage ranges, but sadly some nerfs to overall damage, though the 7.62 conversion for it got buffs though, giving it a faster fire rate and muzzle velocity, but again, nerfs to its damage. The AK-47, of course, got one of the larger changes in this update, getting a new model which looks amazing, a new firing sound, the new layered recoil system with better accuracy and faster reload times. This is a straight W, boys. A bunch of the other AKs also got sound changes to their base weapon and to their conversions and such as well. The base HK-416 didn't get any changes, however, the 300 blackout conversion for it got straight buffs, having its close-up damage increased from 34 to 38, which is nearly 40 freaking damage, and its damage range got increased as well. A torso multiplier was added to it and its pen was increased. However, its muzzle velocity was cut almost in half. Very sad, but that damage increase is huge. The C7A2 got a higher muzzle velocity as well, with new recoil, increase to overall accuracy, and the LSW barrel conversion thing now has a higher muzzle velocity and increased pen as well. The OTS-126, one of my personal most hated weapons in the entirety of Phantom Forces, got some huge changes to it, apparently making it near identical in performance to the AK-74, which is a little bit weird, but that itself is one of my favorite weapons in the game. The OTS now has higher minimum damage, higher damage ranges, increased torso multiplier, increased walk speed, increased aim model speed, faster reload times by a good bit, however slightly lower close-up damage, still guaranteed 3-shot kill though, and slightly lower pen. It's actually pretty usable now, and I'm happy to see these changes made. However, I think this really deserves a video of its own to truly test its abilities, so let me know if you guys would like to see that. The K1A, one of my personal favorite carbines, now has new recoil, increased minimum damage, further damage range, highly increased muzzle velocity, nearly the same as the BFG. However, the torso multiplier was sadly reduced. Oh well, still great. The Gyrojet carbine, a weapon which was horribly nerfed a few months back, basically making it unusable, has actually had some interesting changes made to it. It now has higher overall damage, and its muzzle velocity was multiplied by 10, literally from 50 to 500 muzzle velocity now. And it has a tiny bit faster reload speed. However, new recoil, that's a little bit more violent. Damage range was lowered, the headshot multiplier was lowered, and the torso multiplier was lowered as well. However, it still one-shots torso out to 135 studs and beyond. So to me, it really is a little bit more similar to how it was before, so happy Steven. The Gyrojet pistol also got some nice changes to it as well, which are similar to the carbine. The UMP was kind of done dirty, unfortunately, which is really disappointing to me, but pretty much what they did to it is they increased its range damage from 19 to 22, making it actually a 5-shot kill at range, which is pretty good, and they increased its base fire rate from 625 to 650, though its close-up damage was reduced, making it no longer able to 2-tap torso with 45 super. However, my favorite conversion for it, the 40 Smith & Wesson conversion, while receiving an increase to minimum damage, also making it at least a 5-shot kill and increasing damage range and slightly lower recoil, it has lower damage range, torso multi, and worst overall, a slower fire rate. No, that was the best thing about this, but it's okay. I'll make it work. The P90 has worse recoil overall and has a reduced fire rate now. A lot of people will like this change. damage? I can imagine. The Colt SMG got a very nice remodel and increased damage overall, which for me is amazing because I freaking love this thing and I think a lot of other people are going to use it more. Though one thing that didn't get a remodel that was supposed to is the M60. We were told that it was going to be seen by the end of June. It was not. We were told it was going to be the July 4th update. It was not. However, we will at some point in the future get an M60 remodel. If you're a little bit curious about that, by the way, I will leave a link to that in the description below and at the end of the video, because yes, we can still see at least what it will look like whenever it comes out. The MG3 KWS, a former favorite of mine, literally got only buffs with much better recoil, increased damage range, torso multiplier, headshot multiplier, and faster reloads. Next, maybe MG42. The H-Car, of all things, has new recoil, which I thought it already had the layered recoil, so I don't know what they did to it exactly, but it has faster muzzle velocity and a faster fire rate with the full auto conversion or the open bolt conversion. Weirdly enough, the Pedersen device, basically the weird pistol conversion thing for the Springfield, got some changes in the form of more damage, increased torso multiplier, headshot multiplier, fire rate, but with a slightly lower muzzle velocity. Weird, I kind of forgot this was in the game. The WA 2000, a sniper that has honestly just been not very good, is now pretty freaking amazing. It now has a much better torso multiplier, headshot multiplier, faster reload, aim model speed, and more reserve ammo with faster aim walk speed, though a slightly decreased muzzle velocity, but by a hardly noticeable amount. It's actually a very good sniper now, even though it kind of plays a little bit more like a DMR. Really another one that should kind of get a video of its own. Also, the 300 Win Mag conversion is basically a direct upgrade over the base ammo, and also got big changes of its own, with a faster muzzle velocity, increased pen, increased suppression, more reserve ammo, but with one less round in the magazine. And kind of the last major change here is going to be in the PP2000, the pistol version of the OTS 126. It got better minimum damage, increased damage ranges, torso multiplier, walk speed, aim model speed, but with slightly decreased pen. Though that is pretty much going to be it actually for like the bigger changes in the update. There are a couple of more minor ones that I didn't really bother going over because they don't really matter. However, while I think a lot of this update is super good, I think we were unfortunately missing a lot of stuff, like the M60 model, of course, I'd love to have seen. And really, I think a lot of us would like to have seen new weapons. I understand that this game has like nearly 200 weapons, but more weapons is more good, at least as the average American mindset goes. But even still, there's a lot of really fun, cool weapons that they totally could add to the game that we just kind of didn't see in this update. And while it's kind of disappointing, I'm going to hope that we see something relatively soon. The new weapon models are cool, I guess, but we'll just have to wait and see what they actually end up dropping next. Plus, it has been nearly a year since we've seen our actual last weapon added to the game, so that's pretty disappointing. Other than that, though, there really aren't many, if any, big changes. There's actually a lot of awesome rebalances in here, but unfortunately some pretty disappointing nerfs at the same time. I'd say overall this update is a huge W and a step in the right direction with revamping and remodeling a lot of the weapons and their recoil. Let me know what you guys think of this update below, and if you did enjoy the video, consider subscribing. It's literally free, and there's tons of content that you guys can watch. If you think this video is worth even more support, consider becoming a channel member like these wonderful people up on screen right now. They're awesome. And of course, a huge personal thanks to the top tier channel members: Hi, Solitude, Kitsune, King GS, Jared Smith, Mr. Spooky, Taxman, Trooper MLG, Lumpy Baconface, and Lazy Goth. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, there is also a Phantom Forces playlist up on screen right now with over 450 Phantom Forces videos in it, which makes for a great binge session. Anyways, thanks for watching, dudes. Have a great day. Peace.